The mind is where everything begins. Before the hands move, before the tongue speaks, before the feet walk, the mind commands it all. If your mind is not under control, your life will be like a car without a driver, destined for destruction. We often underestimate how powerful our thoughts are. A single negative thought left unfiltered can grow like a weed in a garden, eventually choking the healthy plants. In the same way, if we don't guard our thoughts, negativity, pride, arrogance, jealousy, and anxiety start to flourish. They start to take root. And once they take root, they shape our perception. They influence the way we view others, how we view ourselves, and how we interpret every situation. Controlling the mind doesn't mean you won't have bad thoughts. It means you don't allow them to rule you. It means you challenge them with truth. You remind yourself who you are, where you're going, and why you're here. You align your thoughts with a higher purpose, not temporary emotions. Many people are physically present, but mentally absent. They are so consumed by worry, fear, or desire that their mind becomes a battlefield. But when you learn to still the noise, to filter what you allow to settle in your heart, you begin to move with clarity. You make better decisions. You stop reacting and start responding with wisdom. A person who controls their mind learns patience. They think before they act. They pause before they judge. They reflect before they accuse. In moments of anger, they recognize that emotions are temporary, but the consequences of rash decisions can be permanent. That's why self-reflection is so important. It's not weakness to hold back. It's strength. It takes real power to walk away from a thought that wants to drive you into conflict. It takes strength to silence the mental noise that pushes you toward envy or arrogance. The more you train your mind, the less power negativity has over you. When your mind is in control, your life gains direction. You stop swaying with every mood. You stop getting pulled by every distraction. You become focused, grounded, and purposeful. That's when you start to recognize opportunities. That's when you hear the quiet guidance that comes in stillness. That's when clarity replaces confusion. A controlled mind doesn't mean a dead mind. It means a disciplined one. It's the kind of mind that surrenders to what is good, that filters what is harmful, and that commits to growth, even when growth is uncomfortable. The world is noisy. Opinions are loud. Temptations are everywhere. But if you can discipline your thoughts, you will rise above the chaos. You'll be the calm in the storm. You'll make choices that reflect your values instead of your impulses. And that is the kind of life that inspires, empowers, and fulfills. Because it begins not with what you say, not with what you do, but with what you think. Master the steering wheel, and you will master the journey. What you say can build or destroy. The tongue is one of the smallest parts of the body, yet it carries the heaviest consequences. A single word can start a war. A sentence can break a home. A moment of careless speech can damage what took years to build. That's why those who are wise speak less but say more. They don't speak because they want to be heard. They speak because they have something meaningful to offer. They choose their words the way a jeweler selects diamonds carefully and deliberately. Many people lose relationships not because they lack love, but because they lack control of their tongue. Sarcasm becomes their default. Insults are masked as jokes. They speak in anger, and then they apologize. But apologies don't erase the scars. Words stick, they echo, they replay in the hearts of others long after they're said. This is why a person who wants peace must be cautious with their speech. Silence is better than saying something that causes regret. Wisdom is knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. There are people who can control their wealth, who can control their time, but they cannot control their tongue. They speak out of turn, they gossip, they slander, and then they wonder why peace escapes them. Every time you backbite or speak ill about someone, you are planting a seed of poison in your soul. The tongue is connected to the heart. If your speech is harsh, your heart has hardness. If your speech is pure, your heart has light. Control your tongue, and you'll start to see changes in every part of your life. Speaking with intention doesn't mean you never express yourself. It means you speak with purpose. You ask yourself, will these words help or hurt? Will they uplift or destroy? And when you become mindful of your speech, you become more compassionate. You stop using your tongue as a weapon and start using it as a bridge. A bridge to understanding, a bridge to healing, a bridge to peace. People remember how you made them feel more than what you gave them. Your words are a gift. Use them to encourage, to inspire, to remind others of their worth. And when you're tempted to argue, to insult, or to belittle, remember that sometimes the strongest response is silence. Not every battle is worth fighting. Not every opinion needs to be shared. Hold your tongue, and you will hold your dignity. Wealth is not a sign of superiority. It's a responsibility. It's not the goal. It's a tool. When people misunderstand money, they chase it like it's their master. But when they understand it, they use it as a servant for good. The real test of wealth isn't how much you have, it's how you use it. Does your money bring benefit or pride? Does it serve others or feed your ego? These are the questions you must ask yourself, because wealth can either elevate your status with your Creator or distance you from Him. Many people fall into the illusion that more money means more peace. But peace doesn't come from your bank balance. It comes from your values. A rich person who is stingy is poor in character. A modest person who is generous is rich in spirit. It's not about how much you earn. It's about how much you serve. Money multiplies your character. If you're generous at heart, wealth makes you more generous. If you're selfish, wealth exposes it. That's why it's crucial to check your heart every time you receive more. Spending wisely doesn't mean being miserly. It means being intentional. It means understanding the difference between need and greed. It means providing for your family with dignity, supporting causes that bring benefit, and avoiding wastefulness. Every dollar spent is a statement of what you value. Are you funding your desires or fulfilling your responsibilities? Are you using your money to earn status with people or earn closeness to your Creator? When you die, your wealth stays behind, but how you used it goes with you. The clothes you bought, the gadgets you collected, the status you chased, none of it will matter. But the meals you fed others, the bills you helped someone pay, the smiles you caused through your giving, those are the investments that live on. Those are the deeds that fill your scales when the world has forgotten your name. Control your money before it controls you. Use it before it uses you. Be a giver, not just a spender. Be a contributor, not just a collector. Wealth is a test, and only those who pass it with wisdom, generosity, and humility truly succeed. There's a misconception that staying quiet means you're weak, or that spending less means you're poor. But the truth is the opposite. Real strength is hidden in restraint. It's easy to talk. It's easy to spend. It's easy to show off. But it takes deep strength to be silent when you're provoked, to be modest when you're wealthy, and to be generous without broadcasting it. Silence in the face of ignorance shows maturity. Simplicity in times of abundance shows humility. That's what separates the wise from the reckless. When you discipline yourself to hold back from reacting, to avoid useless arguments, to ignore petty insults, you're not giving in, you're rising above. Not every reaction deserves your energy. Not every situation needs your voice. Sometimes, silence is the most powerful statement you can make. It shows you are not controlled by your ego. It shows you are in charge of your emotions. The same goes for spending. Some people feel the need to buy everything, to show everyone what they can afford. But those who are confident in their worth don't need to prove it. They know that contentment isn't found in brands or labels. It's found in gratitude. They spend wisely, save wisely, and give generously. They don't live to impress. They live to make impact. They don't let society dictate what success looks like. They let their values shape their decisions. When you develop discipline in these two areas, silence and spending, you protect yourself from regret. You avoid the pain that comes from saying too much or spending without thought. You become someone who moves with purpose, not impulse. You gain respect. You gain peace. You become someone others trust because they know you're not driven by emotion or ego, but by wisdom and sincerity. Self-control is not about denying yourself everything. It's about mastering your urges so they don't master you. When you learn to say no to what is harmful, even when it feels good, you grow. You elevate. You unlock a version of yourself that is calm, wise, and spiritually strong. Every time you hold your tongue, when you're angry, every time you give when you want to hoard, every time you choose peace over conflict, you are building a fortress inside your soul. A fortress that protects your dignity, your sanity, and your relationship with your Creator. There is a kind of tranquility that only comes when you are in control of yourself. Not controlled by emotions, not driven by desire, not swayed by trends, but rooted in discipline. That's where peace comes from. That's where blessings begin to pour in. Because when you prove that you can be trusted with the small temptations, the doors to greater responsibility and reward open. You become a vessel for good. You become a source of comfort to others. You become someone who others can lean on, because you are not unstable or unpredictable. Self-control doesn't mean life will be easy. It means you will be steady. It means you won't fall every time a test comes your way. It means you are training your soul to think long term, to prioritize what matters, to walk the path that leads to purpose. That's the kind of control that brings light to your heart and serenity to your life. And that's the kind of control that leads not just to worldly peace, but to eternal success. When the mind is disciplined, the tongue restrained, and wealth handled with wisdom, a person rises above the chaos of the world and walks a path of true honor. These three elements, your thoughts, your speech, and your spending, are not just habits. They are mirrors reflecting the state of your soul. If you can guard your mind from negativity, your tongue from harm, and your money from misuse, you gain control over your entire life. You begin to live with purpose, speak with compassion, and give with intention. That control does not make you arrogant. It makes you humble. It doesn't distance you from people. It brings you closer to them in love and trust. And most importantly, it doesn't just bring peace to your surroundings. It brings peace to your heart and draws you nearer to the one who rewards those who strive for excellence in every part of their being.